Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great day. There were a few poppers there. I'd say Nvidia was looking hot. How about that one? We were loving that. And AMD. Google was up, Meta was up, Tesla was up, and a bunch of other ones. Apple kind of rebounded at the end of the day, and things weren't looking too bad. The heat map was definitely green and red. Looked pretty festive to me. So let's get cruising since tomorrow is Christmas Eve. The market closed at 1 p.m. tomorrow, so it is a short day, and then obviously closed on Wednesday for Christmas. So all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice, so always do your due diligence. And like I said, I hope everyone had a great day. I saw a bunch of yous on the stock market talk at 3 p.m. I was hopped on there with stocks on Spaces and Wolf, which is a huge account, and Stock Market News, which is a huge account, and even Stocks on Spaces. They have a lot of great shows on all of them, and they were really cool guys to hang out with, talk stocks. They love stocks as much as I do, and that was an interesting, fun show. A lot of different takes. So I did see a bunch of you hopped on there and checked it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. And let's just get cruising through here. We'll rock and roll, go through the list. And again, it's a short day tomorrow, off Wednesday, but we'll be ready for the rest of the week and obviously next week and the end of the year. So here we go with Edible, because that was up and we were looking at it and said it was going to run up into that top right there last night. And it did, and it went from 38 to 56. Its low is 31, and it closed at 38. So it opened and closed at the same spot, ran up. I'm not so sure it's going to run up some more. It is still in the top, though. I mean, it doesn't look like it wants to just come crashing down yet. But again, it did run up today. I'm not promising you tomorrow. Yesterday, you just knew it was going to run up there. So, I kind of figured that was happening today. Another one that's setting up really nice here, and I'll give you a couple at the end of the show that are just setting up great because we were going through a bunch of different stuff on that stock market talk show, and I was just kind of cruising around as the guys were talking and looking at different things, and I picked up on a bunch of different things that are about to pop up. So we'll go through some of that as well and be prepared. But RIME is looking pretty good, curling up, was up a penny today, but does look pretty solid to continue to run. So I would take a look at RIME and check that bad boy out because it looks like it wants to pop up right there. So look at that RIME rhyme. We were looking at it earlier. It ran up the other day. I remember what last week was it, the 17th? Tuesday, actually. Yeah, last Tuesday it was. And yeah, we'll see what it does look like it's ready to go. And again, the timing could get thrown off on some of these bad boys just because we have the market closes early, then it's closed, then it runs 2 days, sets up for New Year's and closes. I didn't even look at New Year's Eve to see if it closed early. I didn't even pay attention, but I'll go ahead and look at that too. And then obviously New Year's Day it'll be closed, which will be a Wednesday, it looks like, because Tuesday's New Year's Eve. So here we go. Let's roll. RIME looking good. AISP, Airship AI Holdings, running up some more. We knew that one was going. We were super early on this one. I mean, right there when it was starting to run. So AISP went 477 to 590. It's at 586 and still looking good up there. So should run up in the top some more tomorrow. So keep an eye on that bad boy in the morning. Max and MAXN was up 93 cents. We were looking at this curling up, looking good. And another one that we were talking about was just about to pop, and it did. So MAXN still looking pretty good. Could run up some more right there. Not looking bad at all. And how about LGHL? That is our lion. And it was down, I think, most of the day, wasn't it? Let me see what it did on mine because it'll give me the accurate pricing from 16 to 19, and it's at 17, but its low was 16. And so it did get up to 19 and it closed at 17, which was a little bit higher than it opened. And yeah, it's looking pretty good right there, that line. It is hitting that resistance right there, about 19 cent area. And It is getting set up though. So once it gets over that 19, it's really going to get moving. Probably going to be in that channel between 17 and 19, and then try to get cruising right there. CTNT is the cheetah, and that was up a little bit today. Nothing crazy. It looked like it was pulling back, but it looks says it was up in the after hours. Let me see. 334 to 337, down to 314, and closed at 317. I thought it was down, so it did run up the other day when we were just looking at it, and it is pulling back now. And that Jag X, remember I said the Jaguar was looking the best. It was up 5 cents, a little more in the after hours. So Jag X looking good right there, and should continue to get up over that dollar, and then probably run to that 105, and we'll see how it looks there. But that is Jag X. And we'll see how that, like I said, that was setting up and looking the best out of the big cats. And also our cat, we put that on there, Red Cat Holdings. It's not a real cat, but it's a red cat. And we'll look at it. So it was kind of curling up, went flat. It did run around today. I know that. RCAT 1109 to 1389 and back to 1074. It did cross through with a little pullback look, hitting some resistance up there. So we'll see if it wants to pull back. It went flat, like I said, so I'll look at it. And that is the other cat, our cat, and it's not even a real cat, but we have it with our big cats, and we'll just look at it. So RVSN is at Railroad One, Rail Vision, and it is in Israeli Railroad. It was popped up there yesterday. It was trying to run up some more today, just a little healthy pullback. It looks like it does look like it wants to continue to run up. Yesterday it went crazy, 43 to 78, and then it ran 50 to 56. It's at 49, and again, just a little healthy pullback, and says that this has the earnings of 3rd and February 3rd. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure what's up with all them moving around from the 31st. Like I said, none of them say that. They all say the 3rd, and you know it's not going to be on the 3rd. So who the heck knows when their earnings all are, but we'll figure them out. And anyway, RVSN is looks like it was some healthy pullback. So we'll take a look at that tomorrow and see if it wants to continue to ride right up there. LSB, that Lakeshore Biopharma, this had been hopping up there. It was up 11 cents today in a good spot. I believe we're at 20 and 50. We're touching, they were curling through. And yeah, it was kind of run up yesterday and today, 320 to 336. Did come back to 275, but it's at 307. And again, I mean, it's not looking terrible. I can say that right now. It's not in a bad spot at all. So I would keep an eye on that LSB. I'll look at that one and see if it wants to go along with the RVSN and Cask. We were looking at it last night, and again, it looked like it was popping. It was popped out of the basement. It was one of them ones that had just recently started. So, I was saying, usually I can't tell, but you could see this one had enough data where you could see it out there, out of the basement and trying to run up. And it did run up today. I don't know if it's going to continue to run up, CASK, but it did go 360 to 665 and down to 298. So, I mean, it's lower than what it opened. And it did pop up. I'm not going to lie. It definitely popped up. Not so sure it's going to stay up there either with that big pop up. And again, doesn't have that much data, but you could just tell that was the bottom right there. It just had enough where you could see it made the bottom, came out of the basement, and just gave me enough of a look where I said, it looks like it wants to run, but it's fairly new. So there you go. It's CASK, and I'm not so sure that's going to go anymore. And that ADTX is looking pretty decent. It was trying to get moving today. It was running up a little bit, ADTX, and we'll see if this is the beginning of it, but it was trying to move yesterday, or what's Friday? I mean, what I say yesterday, Friday, 24 to 36, and today 19 to 24, and it's at 21, and it is looking good right there. ADTX, remember I told you this one remind me of that ALLR. It's been in the basement forever. I mean, we'll start back here at August 28th. And we're still in there. So it's been down there for a while. It also split back in October 2nd. And like I said, it looks like it's finally going to be based out all the way down here We've watched this thing at 34 cents, and right now you're at like 18 to 20, 21, somewhere's in that range. So there you go with ADTX. It looks like it's going to start moving, and we did watch it, and that's why you have to be super patient and know that they're actually setting up and getting ready to rock and roll, because if you don't, you'll just watch them dip on you forever, and they can go from, 32 or whatever down to 12, or they can go to like nothing practically. We've seen it happen a million times. So yeah, that's why you just want to make sure that they're moving up, especially these penny ones. But EYEN, let's look at Inovia. This was just kind of flat today, nothing real crazy, just literally flat along that bottom line right there. EYEN, and it was 9 down to 8, closed at 9, really didn't do much. Like I said, it's flat, has to get over this 9 cents. So once it gets into the 10 range, it's going to be looking great. So it only has a penny to go. Maybe it's a little under 9, but yeah, it's like just under 9. It looks like 0.0854, so 8.5. So it's right around there, but once it can get to 10, it could get moving, and that's EYEN, and your 20 is, yep, right there. So yeah, it just has to get over that 9 cent area and get moving there. And like I said, that's EYEN. And let's look at Rum, because this one went wild today, Rumble, and it was looking good right down there. I mean, it was just kind of setting up. It was pulling back, and then boom, it just went fired up there over $5, I think, today. So it did run, what does it say? Yeah, over $5. And it went from 1107 to 1463, and it's at 1288 right now, and that is Rumble, and it was looking good. I have no idea what the news was. They jumped after $775 million Tether deal boosting liquidity, so I'm not exactly sure what they have going on, but they have an investment from Tether is what it looks like. So yeah, Rumble's looking good, getting a big investment from Tether right there. So that's why that one popped up, and yeah, it dipped down. That was a nice dip and rip situation on Rumble. We had been looking at it because it was set up the other day, and then there you go. We always see the setups before the news comes. That's for sure. Take a look at Ford as well, because F, the letter F, Ford is looking really good. That's getting set up down here. So just take a look at it. It probably has a few days, but it's getting ready. That bottom was probably 953. It's at 990. So keep an eye on Ford F, because that's looking pretty good right there. That's getting set up to run. Elab. This one was up in 5 cents today. It ran up last week, and it's just kind of getting in a good spot again. It says it was down a little bit in the after hours. Let me see. 253 to 278, down to 230. It's at 248, still in a good, or wait, no, I'm lying. Yeah, and it's down to at 248. And so yeah, it's not looking bad at all right there. It's still sitting on that 20, so it's, like I said, it's not looking bad. Has a couple weird looks. We'll take a look at it obviously tomorrow, and then towards the end of the week when the market's open, we'll see what it's up to. We'll probably just keep most of this list, because I don't know how much it's going to really change, being that, the holidays coming up and things will kind of slow down. So we can kind of keep this list and go from that. And SINT, this one is curling up. We just looked at it. That's Syntex and SINT, and it's in between that channel, curling up right here, 347 to 386. It's at 371, and it is looking good. I was talking about this because I thought it was a little car company before, and it might be something, but it does say medical devices, and that's SINT, Sint, and it is looking good right there. And VVOS, we were looking at this, and it ran up today. It actually is looking really good as it rolled off that MACD, like we were saying. It went 518 to 530, and it came down to 401, but closed at 508. So it took a massive dip. I don't know how, but it certainly did, and still rolled off and got into the top. So keep an eye on that VVOS. Somebody wanted that thing at a good price down there today, because they dropped that thing dramatically real fast. And yeah, that was pretty wild. I saw that happen. I was like, whoa, what was going on there? And the next thing you know, it was right back up. So IMPP, this one's looking good. We were talking about it, had it marked off, and it was up today like 4 cents or more. I'll tell you what it did. It went 292 to 292 was its high, 278 was its low. It's at 288. So it's just sitting right there, and this thing's getting moving. It's just got to get up to that 296 area, and it can get over that. Maybe it'll wait until the end of the week, but we'll keep an eye on it because it did just set up, and that bottom was last week there at where was that price at? 272 right there. And you're at, like I said, 288. So not too far off. So keep an eye on that IMPP. Not looking bad right there. And let's see what SPGC is doing. That Sax Parente Golf. It was up 3 cents today. It's curling up. I'm telling you, this thing's going to get moving, guys. So SPCG, it wants to get rocking and rolling. It's hitting that line right now. And just keep an eye on it. Hold on, let me look at it. SPGC it is, and that's Sax Parente Golf. And like I said, it's curling up today. It went 32 to 38. It's at 34 right now and looking good. So keep your eye on that because we've been watching it and it's been setting up. And WATT. Let's see what Watt wants to do. We looked at this yesterday. It was up a little bit today. I saw it jumping around. It's making that base curling up. And it is looking pretty good right there, WATT. So keep an eye on that as well because that's looking really good. How about that QS? I'm telling you, this thing's right in that channel. It's going to blast off right here. QS, that Quantum Scape is what it's called, Quantum Scape. And yeah, it's getting ready to blast off, guys. So keep an eye on that. Watch for any dip and rip situation, but that thing's about to get rolling right there. So keep your eye on QS. And how about ADI? We looked at this last night. It's up $3.11. We were saying it was curling up and it was looking good. ADI, and boom, there you go. 211 to 215. It's at 214.99. And that had an asterisk on it yesterday and it's still rolling. So there you go. We just call them out like that. And when they run like $3 or more, that's not a bad little run for a day. So there you go, ADI analog devices, and we do it with the big caps, small caps, penny stocks, crypto. It doesn't matter. Just give us the chart and we nail them. Just like ADI. I've never even heard of it, I don't think. Analog devices. Maybe we went over it before. It's a semiconductor company. I told you these semiconductors were getting ready to rock and roll. I was telling you guys this last week, and look what's rocking and rolling today, this morning. So VCIG, let's see what that's up to. That is not a semiconductor company, but let's see because it was setting up good. It looked like it was up 9 cents. Another one we were talking about getting moving, and it went 162 to 175. It's at 171, and it does look really good there. So keep your eye on VCIG because that's setting up the run. And SGN is at signing day sports, and this thing is just getting set up. It's about to crawl off that bottom and get popping. This thing could get popping in the morning, guys. So it did run Monday a little bit, 315 to 437, and now it looks pretty good down here at 290 to 312. It's at 298, so it did close up, but it's looking really good right there for SGN and KTTA. Let's see what that's doing. KTTA. Let's see. That one's just kind of hanging out down here. That bottom was down here at 237, and it is curling up right there, looking pretty good, I would have to say. Let me look. KTTA, and it went 264 to 278. It's at 267, open and closing right around the same price, but it was just looking a little flat as it closed, but looks good to me on that setup. So keep an eye on that. It's got to get up over that 284 area, and it can really get moving. That's KTTA. And SNSE, this was up a hair today. I saw it moving a little bit, but better yet, it is just curling up beautifully. So this one, check it out. It ran up Monday a little bit, 42 to 49. Today, 46 to 47. And it's at 45 right now. And I'm telling you, this thing's getting set up. SNSE. We looked at it before and it ran up and then it pulled back and now it's getting ready to run again. So keep your eye on that one as well. And XTIA. This one did pull back a little bit today, but still not even as low as it did the other day when it was 0.0380 because today's bottom was 0.0390. So it did stay up there, and it looks like it's going to touch down on that bottom and try to pop off of there tomorrow. It's just been kind of bouncing around. It needs to get over this 20 and stay up there, and it hasn't been able to do it. Maybe tomorrow it can get that bounce off that bottom again and catch some momentum. Obviously, it's the worst day to try to do it probably, but we'll take it on that day on Christmas Eve and hope that it can keep the momentum. So XTIA just kind of bouncing around right there. And like I said, we're looking for it to bounce off that bottom to try to get moving again. So XTI is not looking terrible. It just needs to get bouncing. PW is power right, and this thing's getting curled up. I told you that it would. It was up today, that's for sure. PW and 118 to 145. It's at 138. Remember, we were looking at it when it was at 234, and we found the bottom here at 105, and now you're at what, 145 today, right fast, and it's at 138. So that's the exact way to do it right there. People were talking about this thing at 238, and I was saying, no, it's going to be pulling back. Let it come back. Read it perfectly. Called out the bottom. Let it get moving just a hair, and boom, there you go. So that's PW. Played perfectly right there, and now it'll start moving. So all them PW fans can keep an eye on it now for it to run back up. GITS is that Global Interactive Technologies, and this one's we had some pullback yesterday, just a little bit flat today, not looking too bad. Let me see. Yeah, just bouncing off of that basically off coming through your lines right here, your 20 and 50, and kind of just bouncing right back up. So it's not looking terrible at all, and I'd say it's trying to get set back up. We'll look at it tomorrow and make sure. GITS, let me mark that to take a peek at it tomorrow. And how about RR? Is that Rich? What is it? Rich Tech Robotics. Yeah, that thing ran up today. It's in the top, and we've been looking at this bad boy, and it ran from 131 to 197, and that's where it closed all the way up at the top, and it looks like it wants to continue to run up there tomorrow. So watch that bad boy for some momentum play in the morning right there. RR, because it did run up. And again, we were looking at this bad boy down here at like 64 cents, and it's at $1.96. So there you go with that bad boy. We are always early, that is for sure. CYN, this one we looked at last night. It was bouncing back up today. It ran up over 50%. So yeah, we even call out these bad boys. This one ran 51 to $1, and it closed at 67. So what a nice popper that was today. CYN definitely went over that last night, had it marked up. VKTX is at Viking Therapeutics, and this thing just went into the basement. It's setting up right now, guys. I'm telling you, that bottom should be right off that line at 37.80, and it should be looking pretty good. VKTX, so keep an eye on the Viking. It did run up on Friday, that's right, 40 to 50, and today 42.96 to 43.67, and it's at 42.39 right now. So it did close a little down, but it is setting up right here, and it will get moving, and that is VKTX, Viking Therapeutics. So keep your eye on that. And SOUN, let's look at that SoundHound AI. This one I think's up at the top right now. So if you weren't locking in profits, you might want to consider it up here, because could it bounce back up at that top? It could, but it's been up there. So I'm just letting you know it could be pulling back. I'm not promising you anything, but it has that look like it could get pulled back right there. SOUN. So I'm just letting you know, if you're in it, just look at your options and your opportunities and your probability and risk factors right there, because you are getting up at that top, and it's run up there for a little while. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up on that one. LAC, I'm telling you, this thing is looking mighty nice right here. It was curling up today, up 20 cents, but this is that Lithium Americas Corp. That is one that we were looking at before. Remember, they ran up not long ago, and they definitely had dipped back down down. Well, it's curling back up the run. So keep an eye on this LAC. It is looking good. And I'll tell you what, a lot of them metals ones, I forget what they are, mining and metals or something. They are looking pretty nice right there. So we'll look at some of them. Excuse me. What is it? Yeah, industrial metals and mining, that's what they're considered. And yeah, a lot of them are looking good. Like LAC, I'll just tell you a couple real quick. LAC is looking great. Here's another one that caught my eye today. AMLI, American Lithium Corp. This thing's curling up. It's at 37 cents, and it's about to get out of that basement and get cruising right there. AMLI. So keep an eye on that one because that lithium, that's in other industrial metals and mining, like I said, and they're lithium ones, and they are looking really good. MP. That one's MP Materials, and this one is about to curl back up. It looks like it's rolling off that bottom, and that one's looking pretty decent right there. And there's a whole lot of them. We can go through them in a little bit, but yeah, we can. MP's looking really good right there. And USGO, let's see what that's doing real quick. USGO, US gold mining, and this one's curling up and trying to get moving. That bottom was the other day at probably $8 or at 8.51, and that's USGO. So keep an eye on these bad boys. And again, they are other industrial metals and mining ones, and they are setting up to look really good right there. So just keep an eye on them, and we can go through a couple of them later, and I'll make a list or something. We can go through them because obviously tomorrow is going to be a slower day. It might not be. It could be really popping. I mean, look how crazy Nvidia, Google, and Meta and Tesla were looking today, and even Lilly. That one's been going nuts. Remember I told you LLY that Lilly Ellie was going to be looking good? Well, that thing down here. What was its bottom down here? 752.40. Or Friday it ran up to 811, and then today it went 785 to 799. And yeah, it's getting back into that 800 and going to get cruising again. And it could get up into that 900 range. So that is that LLY Lilly Ellie. So you keep an eye on that bad boy. We were talking about it before. And we'll hop back onto the list because we got sidetracked with LAC because it is looking really good right there. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And WKEY, that W key. If I can type in the right keys, it would help. There we go. W key, Wise key international. And this thing's trying to roll back up into the top. So keep an eye on, oh my God, with the keys. WKEY. But yeah, it looks like it's rolling right back up. It curled off that MACD. It didn't even get that low. It just started curling back up. So keep an eye on that. It could continue its way back up there into the past the 11s right there. So WKEY does look like it has some momentum right there and does not look bad. So we'll mark that one right there. And how about RAPT? Let's look at that bad boy, Wrapped Therapeutics. This one ran up. We looked at it before because I know somebody sent me a message about it, and I had thrown it on the list about a week ago, and it was just kind of getting set up. It was running that line real tight. Whenever they run that line real tight, it's hard to tell when they're going to pop, but they're going to pop. And this thing did it today, obviously. It ran up over 100%. I know that because it went 99 to 232. It's at 166 right now. So there you go with RAPT, and that was popping up, and we'll have to see. It could continue tomorrow. It doesn't look bad at all. So I would keep an eye on it for a little momentum right there. It could go. And we already know we looked at SPGC. Here's True Golf. Let's look at this one because it looks like it could get teed off again. It is staying above the MACD. I'll have to look at it tomorrow to make sure it wants to roll off of there. And yeah, this one's just riding that line, just like I was saying. that RAPT was doing. This one's doing the same thing, and it looks like that bottom was the other day on the 18th, last Wednesday at about 35 cents. So this one could get popped up again, could get teed off there. True Golf, TRUG. So we'll keep an eye on that. STI is at up 2 cents right there, and that one's going to be curling up for sure. Friday was at bottom at what, 36 cents. STI, let's see. Yeah, 37 to 41. It's at 40 right now, and it looks really good right there. So keep an eye on STI because that looks like it's going to run, and it sounds crazy, but it's STI. So keep an eye on that one. ONCO, ONCO. There we go. Let's see what this is doing because it looks like it's getting to be in the right spot right there, is what it looks like. Let me see it on mine right here. ONCO. Yeah, I'd say it's trying to get in the right spot right there, guys. So keep an eye on this bad boy. It's kind of a hard look right there. It's just sitting on them support lines, but and in the basement. But I'm gonna say that one's gonna have a bounce play really soon. So I would keep an eye on ONCO. It's looking good. And DRMA. Let's see what DRMA is doing here. DRMA looks like it is setting up to get cruising. It ran up today. Let me see what it did. 111 to 130. It closed at 126, and it does look like it wants to go. And somebody, PT Sub Zero, he agrees right there. He likes DRMA, and yeah, it jumped up into that channel right there between that 119 and that 127. It crossed through. It looks like it's pretty solid to continue up. So keep an eye on that DRMA because it does look like it still has a little momentum left in it right there. So like I said, keep an eye on that. And let's keep on cruising here. That QNCCF is probably going to be an OTC with the 5 letters there. So we'll look at it. Let's see what it is. It is, I know I remember it told me this before. Now where is it? Oh well, who cares? Anyway, let's look. What is it? QNCCF. Yeah, OTC. I thought it told me that before. And let's see. This thing jumped up today. It is a quantum one. Friday it was at, let me see. Friday it was at 24 cents up to 32. And today it's at 37, and it looks like it wants to go higher. I can only look at it really on the one chart, but it doesn't look too bad right there. And that is an OTC one. So if you like them, QNCCF isn't looking terrible. But again, I only get one look. I definitely like to take the 2 looks, even though I do rely on my trend spider, and that's the one I can look at it at. I just need to see that the setup's definitely there and just confirms it. I don't know why, but like my brain needs at least 2 of them. So even before I would look at 3 charts, but again, the stock charts just kind of became useless with the trend spider. They're just so well put together and so accurate that I don't have to worry about it. So we kind of reduce time and only look at 2 charts, but I do have to look at 2 charts to make sure it is the setup that I'm looking at and everything's right. And then I can just roll with it. So TWG, let's look at it. Because again, this was like ELAB. Who was looking at it? I totally forget. Somebody. Oh man, how do I forget? Oh man, somebody. I'll think of it. The person that was looking at TWG and ELAB. It's like on the tip of my tongue. And but yeah, we got ELAB to run, and it looks like TWG is going to run fairly soon too now. So I have to go through and look at Barbara. There you go. That's who it was. Just came to me. I don't know why I drew a blank, but probably my brain injury makes me draw a blank with everything. But anyway, this one looks like it bottomed out the other day at that. Let me look on mine. It's easier. Right here at that like 18 cent area. So yeah, it was 0.1820, and you're at like 20 cent or so right now. So TWG looking a little better and could get curled up right there. So Elab ran, and it looks like TWG, we're going to talk that one in the running too for Barbara, and she should be happy with them too. And let's look at this INDO. This is that Indonesia Energy Corp. It is setting up. I was looking at it today. Someone mentioned it, and it is looking good. I'm telling you, this thing was worth a fortune before. If you go back a while back, I remember it was like over $100 on this day. In 2022, it was up to like what was it here? $90 almost. And I'm telling you, I remember just running up a few times, pretty high. I don't know. So we'll keep an eye on it, but it is setting up to get rolling, and that is at INDO. It's oil and gas, and I was telling you guys that Oxy and all them will go through them, but they're looking good too. And that oil and gas was setting up, and we were talking about it. I mean, we go through all of them every night, so we obviously know. But INDO is looking good too, so keep an eye on that. CELH, that's at Celius Holdings. It's just pulling back a little bit as it sets up. Let it hit that bottom, let that hard line come over, and let it set up a little bit better, and then we'll get the rock and roll that. UMC, let's see what this is up to. That United Micro Electronics here. UMC, it was curling up right there. And let's just see UMC. Yeah, that one just jumped up, got in between the channel. I'd expect it to run up into the sevens right there. It's at 677 and then try to get moving. So that is UMC. That is a semiconductor company as well. And it is looking pretty good right there. So keep an eye on that. And APVO. APVO. Let's see what APVO is up to. What is that? Aptivo Therapeutics. And this thing is trying to curl up. That's a big old curl up off a big old dip right there. APVO. And yeah, it ran what, December 12th, a couple weeks ago, 939 to 1868, and today it's 450 to 471. It's at 447. So APVO looks like it's trying to curl up and get moving. It did have a reverse split right before that big pop up too, so in that big dip. So here we go at APVO. It's looking pretty decent to set up. So keep an eye on that bad boy. And BHIL, that is at Benson Hill. That was on the laptop travel list. It did run up today and Friday. BHIL, we were looking at this, and today it went 298 down to 240-ish. Well, 229, closed at 240. And on Monday or Friday, it went up from 235 to $3. So there you go with that. And that is at Benson Hill. And again, we were looking at it, and it could try to get set up again. We'll have to see what it wants to do. If it wants to bounce off that bottom tomorrow, I could see it doing it. It was in the basement for a while, so it could bounce right off. And then it could really get moving. So that is BHIL, and we were definitely early with that one. SANW. S&W Seed Company, and this one's just kind of pulling back right here is what it looks like. Let me see what it's up to here. Yeah, that one looks like it's actually pulling back a little bit now. It wasn't looking bad before, but it could be pulling back. Shim, SHIM, this one's curling up right here. And Shim looks like it's going to get moving. It's right between that channel and going to pop off of that 20, which is at 272. It gets over that. And I think it is over it. It's at 270 right now. So, yeah, I think Shim, SHIM, and that's an engineering and construction company, Shimmick Corp. That's looking pretty good right there, SHIM. So take a look at that. And ONDS, let's see what that's up to. That one was running up into the top today. ONDS, I remember I did see this today at 162 up to 196, and it closed at 194. So that's looking pretty good up there, and it just peeked its head into the top. So I think you're going to get a little momentum play on that one. So keep your eye on ONDS in the morning, because that one should continue to run up. And let's look at HAO. HAO is getting set up, guys. It's at least trying to. It's down here at the bottom, just kind of dragging that line, dragging that bottom, been dipping down. Just give it a couple days. It's not done yet, and we'll see what it's doing. And these couple next days are gonna mess it up with the holidays. It's perfectly fine, but it will get set up here, and we'll check it out and nail that when it's ready. And how about that B Hat, Blue Hat Interactive Entertainment? That's getting curled up. That was definitely on a list just the other day for laptop travel. I'm telling you, his lists are incredible, and this one went 12 to 14 and it's at 13. So there is BHAT. And we just run through his list and tell you what's about to set up. But he prints out a perfect list of so many poppers for the night. And then in the morning, he gives you the laptop lowdowns. And there are like a bunch of ones that are just way down there getting set up. And generally, we're a couple weeks early, but you see them ones running the 100%ers all the time. And yeah, we just now so many of them. So laptop travel always giving us a ton of them, and we always appreciate it. But yeah, BHAT definitely was listed. VMAR, another one that was up. We were way early on that one. That one's popping out of the basement right here. So VMAR looking good and should get right over that 20 right there at like 181 area and just keep on running. So that one's setting up as well. So B have VMAR, ATYR. Let's look at this one. And this one this one's curling up, hitting some resistance, but just looking kind of crazy right there. ATYR. It ran up 372. Well, it probably gapped up, right? It closed at 335 and then it opened at 372 and then it closed at 335. So it closed where it closed yesterday. It has that crazy weird look, but it's flat and hitting the line and looks like it wants to kind of roll through. So keep an eye on this bad boy tomorrow. ATYR, that one has a weird look, but it could get cruising for sure. It looks like it wants to. I just can't guarantee you on that one just because of the look on it. But NVTS, this one's going to get cruising up more. It should with no problem. That's a semiconductor one too, NVTS. And I told you guys, these semiconductors were looking great. I'm not even sure we went through that one before, but that one looks good. LIPO, let's see what this is doing. This is that Lapella, and we've been going through this as well. I think it's been on well, first I think it started on the laptop lowdown list, and then it moved to a Jolie's jumper list, and now it's jumping up and popping up. It was up 49 cents, and that is LIPO. So again, just another one we nailed every which way from 261 to 322, and we cover it and just go through and we know when they're running. So that's the beauty about it. Like I tell you, is I'm not even the one that picks them all out anymore. You guys send them in. I just go through the charts. It's just easy for me to go through the charts. I enjoy when you send them all in to me, and especially all like, the ones that are getting set up. I obviously look at the scanner real quick, and I just look at the free scanner on FinViz, to be completely honest with you. I have like 40 scanners built, and I rarely even go through them anymore just because I've been doing more Mag 7 and doing the penny ones that you guys are looking at. And between what you look at and Laptop Travel sends over and then the Jolie's jumpers, we have every single popper you could ever imagine, and we're always early. There's nothing that we haven't seen in the last 5 months, probably. At least. And I mean, you're talking so many 100%ers. And again, I don't even trade the penny stocks anymore. I did do it forever. And now I'm doing options. And look what the ones we're popping today. Exactly what we're talking about. AMD and NVIDIA. Semiconductors, boom, you nail them down and crush them. So. Um, yeah, we can hit the pennies, the mid caps, the big caps, the mag seven, the options, the crypto. We just nail everything. So there you go. And here's LIPO, another example. And it looks like it's going to be cruising some more tomorrow, guys. So keep an eye on it because it looks pretty strong right there. And just another one that's early. And like I keep saying, you couldn't possibly trade all these, and nor do you want to. You never want to trade that many. Believe me, you pick the ones that you're most confident in, and and you trade them smart and you're going to make plenty of money. If you start trying to trade a bunch of them because they all look good, forget about it. You just start it, whatever the reason is, they just screw you up. I mean, it's just too much, I think. And you're just better off picking that one or two that you're definitely like, yeah, this thing's popping right here. And are you going to be 100% right? I don't think anybody is. So, if you're even if you're hitting 8 out of 10 of them, like pretty accurately, you're doing amazing. Trust me. And we're probably closer to 9 out of 10 on here that we're doing. So, especially when when I say, this one's running tomorrow. If you mark it down, you could see they're running tomorrow. I don't say it to every single one, but if they give me that look, I tell you guys, and you can tell they're running. So, a bunch of these that we're going through. We've been looking at them for at least 3 weeks, and we're always early, and that's a beautiful thing right there. I say it's a beautiful problem. Then you just have to get them timed out, and we've even been doing that. And I was saying before when we started, I was trying to get more accurate with it, and I think doing this every day, the show and everything, and communicating with everybody and really looking at them more, I think we've really been pinpointing them down. So just doing great stuff, and watch lists are just amazing. So all you have to do is take these watch lists and pick the ones that you really like, trade them smart, and you'll be crushing the market every which way. So there you go. And RELI, just another one we were super early on, and that one ran today. And I see them during the day when they're running up, and I'm like, that was on our list. That was on the list. This one went from 139 to 511. It's at 320 right now. So just another one, and they get set up. I mean, we're early. We watch them bounce around, and then they get set up and get pop. And KULR, this one was up at the top. I have a feeling you're going to come down a little bit here, or maybe even more than a little bit on KULR. So be careful. You did get a little bit of a bump up today, 303 to 334, but it did come down into the 280. So just be careful on that. It had run up already. And SES. Let's look at it. SES, this thing's curling up and looking great. Holy cow, that looks beautiful right there, I must say. SES AI, 43 to 85, back to 62, and that's where it closed, but still looking pretty solid. Look at this tomorrow. See if it has some momentum right there for SES, because that one was running nice. And LXRX, let's see. This one's curling up really nice too. So LXRX is looking really good there, and it is looking really good there. So what's that look like? Just getting up into that channel at about 80 cents where it's at, and it can run up to that 118, 115 area. So keep an eye on that LXRX, because that's setting up to go. MGOL, I saw somebody talking about this, and I don't know what it did today, but oh well. Yeah, it took a nice dip today, so that's what they were talking about. It pulled back big time, and you might get a little bounce off of this play. Let me look at it. MGOL. It went 89 up to 94 and down to 34, and then it's at 47 right now. And let me just take a better look. Oh man, it's been dipping down, so it did come into the basement on the 17th last Tuesday and dip down there, bottom possibly. That could be the bottom right there on MGOL. I might have to look at that bad boy tomorrow, let you guys know, because that could be a great opportunity, because that's way down there. And yeah, I don't know what happened there. Today, MGO Global announces pricing of upsides $6 million public offering. So you wait for the public offering, and then you nail it. So there you go with that. So I'll keep an eye on it and let you know when that looks much better. But yeah, that's when you hate to be in these penny stocks when they do something like that and throw, especially when they're all set up and then all of a sudden they throw a public offering, or they run and they don't like fully run. They still have momentum, and the very next morning they throw a public offering. You're like, damn it, why do you have to do that to me? And one of them did it recently, CETX. I remember that one, and another one did it. So they do it often. CELH, Celius, didn't we look at this already? And it was pulling back. So yeah, we already looked at that one. PIK is Kid Pick. This was run up. We were just looking at this too, not like probably last week a couple times. We were looking at it, and it went 246 to 688 and down to 260. So pretty wild run for that today. But that is Pick Kid Pick, and it could try to get into the top tomorrow, but I can't promise you that one. You'd have to watch it and see if it's has that momentum in the morning. AEHL is at Antelope Enterprises. Let's look at it because it wants to try to curl up. It looks like that bottom could have been on Friday, AEHL. And let's see. 18 to 15 on Friday. It's at 18 right now. It opened at 16 up to 18, and that one could be getting curled up there. So keep an eye on AEHL. Looks like it's setting up there. And how about UNH? Let's look at it. United Health Group. It's at 506, and this thing's going to get cruising finally. And this is that company where the CEO got gunned down there in New York, and but it is looking good. It dipped after that, and it's looking good to start popping back up. So keep your eye on that because that's kind of an options play right there. And there you go with UNH. And let's take a look at crypto real quick. We'll just keep it cruising real quick. Let me know what you guys want to see real fast on this day before Christmas Eve. And I'll go through our big caps and all. Like I said, NVIDIA and our semiconductors were doing great. So let me take a quick look at crypto. It actually didn't look too bad today and right before I hopped on. So let me see what it looks like now. Bitcoin's at 94,038. Let me see what the chart looks like. That's what's important. And it is not looking the best, I'll say that. It could definitely pull back a little bit more, but I'll be honest with you, it's holding up a pretty nice base in these 90s. So I could it dip and rip again? It could dip down a little harder, but it's not showing that it really wants to. It's kind of pulling back real easy. So Ethereum's at 3,380, and let me see what that's up to here. And that one's kind of trying to curl back up right there. I mean, it's in the 30, between the 50 and 30. It's trying to. It's a little pull back, but nothing terrible. Ripple's at 223, and this one is back up over to 30 and just kind of pulling back. It's in the 50 right there. And Ripple could get set up again, to be honest with you. We'll have to watch Ripple. Ripple could get set up right there. Solana's back at 187. And remember, I was saying this one was way down at the bottom and should be trying to bounce back up. It could be trying to bounce back up and get back up over that 200 area. So keep an eye on Solana Sol. And again, it dipped down there. Cardano's at 90. So a lot of great price action if you missed them before. And that one's just hanging out between the 50 and 30 and making a base, it looks like. So nothing too crazy. Doge is at 31, just under 32. And again, that one's just kind of making a base down here. Looks like they had their big dips the other day when they dipped down pretty hard. And let's see what else is Sheeb. That one's trying to go up again. Yeah, making that base. The dip was pretty good the other day. Probably the bottom, basing out, and probably going to try to get moving up. So that's what they look like. Let's look at Bonk and that WIF. Bonk, let's see. That one is, let me look at it. The same situation coming up that 10. It's actually coming up. The 10's coming up on it right now, or actually coming down to hit the price. So we'll have to see if it jumps up over that 10. It'll be a beautiful look. And Bonk had pulled back quite a bit before the other one. So let's see what happens with that one. I'll definitely keep an eye on it. WIF is at 198, and it was lower the other day. And it looks like the other day was that big dip, and it's trying to get set back up there. So that's WIF. And there you go with crypto, not looking terrible. Let's go through our SPY and our big caps real quick, see what they're up to, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. That way we can get ready for Christmas Eve. I'll do a pre-market show tomorrow, and then obviously not a show on Christmas Eve night or Christmas, and probably not Christmas night. So we'll do one probably Thursday night, and Friday morning, and boom. So There you go with the show schedule. I'll even tweet that out and let you guys know. And here we go. Let's go through our spy and all our big caps. Let me know what you guys want to see. So post up some comments. Tell me what you guys want to look at for tomorrow, and we'll definitely break it down. The spy was up 354. We were looking at it obviously this morning. And you're going to start getting it to curl up now. I mean, could it dip back a little bit? Of course it could, but it's going to start curling up and getting bullish again. So it is looking pretty good after 2 days. So looks like that Friday dip was that bottom right there. And the SPY got down to what, 577. So it looks like it wants to move again. How about Apple? It was red all day and then closed up. And I'm telling you, this thing looks like it's curling up. It's got back into the top. I was saying it the other day. It looked pretty good. And Apple looks like they have something up their sleeve. So take a look at Apple. Amazon wasn't looking bad. It was up 14 cents. It was kind of pulling back there, had that weird look, so we have to take a look at it in the morning just to see what Amazon really wants to do. Like I said, it kind of has that little pullback look. Google GOOG is up $3, and this one wants to get running again, rolling off that MACD. And again, they had that crazy good news, so this one could run right back up over that 200, and that is GOOG. And good old Meta META. This was up $14, and I think this one might get curled up. They had some crazy news today too about some Ray-Ban glasses. Let me see if I see it anywhere. Hold on, here we go. Meta reportedly planning displays for Ray-Ban glasses amid push to expand AI native devices. Yeah, check that out. I don't know exactly what the heck they're even doing, but they do work with Ray-Ban glasses, and they're trying to do something new with it. So keep an eye on that. That could get it looks pull. I'm telling you, Zuck has something going on. He constantly has something going on over here. Thing ran up over 600. It's back to 600 right now, and it's going to try to get curled up and moving again and run back up to these 640. So that is your Meta. And Microsoft, this one was pulling back, and I thought it was trying to. It did run up fast on us, let it pull back. I don't know if Friday was at bottom right there at 428, so we'll see what it does tomorrow. And we'll look and see when it's ready to run back up. Good old Nvidia was up over $5 today, and that thing was looking really nice, huh? NVDA, we were talking about it. It's right in that channel, ready to pop through, cross up, and get booming. So wouldn't be surprised if it got to 150 area or at least over 145. And that is Nvidia, and definitely loaded up on them on Friday because that was looking really healthy right there. And good old Tesla, that was running up today. That was over $9. But I'm not so sure. It's coming down to that line flat. I have to look at Tesla. It could pull back. Has a strange look, to be honest with you. So just beware of that one. We'll look at it. AMC was down 6 cents, but I'm telling you, it's getting set up right here. I guess maybe Christmas is supposed to be good. I have no idea, but AMC is for whatever reason looking pretty solid and wants to get moving. GameStop was up $1, and Chewy was looking really good too. So GME was looking healthy, and Chewy, CHWY, that was up over $1, and that one wants to get popping. So keep an eye on that one. And there you go with them bad boys. So that was AMC, GameStop, Chewy, Netflix. Let's see what that's up to. It was up 240. And this thing's just kind of dipping down there. So I don't know. Just keep an eye on it. I would be careful with Netflix at the moment. AVGO is Broadcom, that semiconductor. That was up pretty good today. And that thing looks like it wants to run up again. So keep an eye on AVGO. It is looking good to curl up and get moving. So keep an eye on that one right there. And also MU, that was down a little bit today. But this one could get popping. It looks like it's down at that bottom right there. MU, it took that nice dip for the earnings, and it could, like I said, it could get popping. It is setting up, but not exactly yet. But it could pop up. We'll keep an eye on that MU. But TSM, that was up $10, and we knew that was curling up, and it wants to run up. So that one was good, and we knew that semiconductor was looking hot. And what SMCI, this was up a little bit today. It looks like it's trying to get set up still, so it might be a decent one to take a look at. It is trying to get set up there, but AMD was looking great, and we were definitely looking at that. We were also looking at that AMDL, but AMD is popping up and looking really good. AMDL was the long AMD ETF two times, and that was up. It was up over 67 cents and even up more in the after hours, and that's going up. So that one's looking really good right there. AMDL, AMD looking solid. PayPal, this was dipping back a little bit, and it is pretty bullish though. So we'll just let it get set up and watch that one pop back up. And that's PayPal right there. And let's take a look at Snow. It had pulled back, and this one is pulling back. I thought it was going to, so we'll see where it wants to base out, and then we'll catch Snow on the way up again. QCOM's running up. This was another one we were talking about. They had the dispute with ARM. They beat ARM in the lawsuit, as a matter of fact. So this one's kind of surging. QCOM looking good. ARM was obviously pulled back there, so QCOM looks like it's about to cross through and get moving. ARM looks like it just got arm wrestled and beat because it definitely was down 528 and looks like it could get down a little bit more. So ARM definitely was defeated in that lawsuit, and it definitely showed. So we'll see what happens with that. But like I said, QCOM looking good. And INTC, let's look at Intel Corp because this is rolling up, and we were talking about this getting moving. INTC, so keep an eye on that because that looks good. That's only $20 stock. That might be a good one to look at for options, guys. INTC, that one's about to get rocking and rolling. Disney, let's look at Disney right here. DIS, and that one is pulled back and looks like it's dipping down. So let Disney pull back and we'll catch it. Oxy, I'm telling you, up 71 cents. We were talking about it getting through that bottom, curling, bouncing off that bottom and curling up, and it is now. So keep an eye on OXY. It is hitting some resistance. It's trying to cross through that MACD. Just make sure it gets through and it'll really run. And Exxon Mobil, that was up too. And this one's setting up to run out of the basement. So keep an eye on that. And again, the oil and gas not looking bad at all. And good old Mara, this was pulled back, but I think it's going to try to get set up relatively soon. Might not be tomorrow, but it will get set up because it's way down there. Riot the same way, just kind of pulling back. It will get set up. Maybe it'll take to after the holidays with the days off and how the schedule is, but keep our eye on Marit and Riot. And MSTR was down 31.97. It might come through that 50 right there and really pull back. So keep an eye on MSTR. Be careful trying to short it though. I would be very careful. It likes to pop up with no problem. But yeah, keep an eye on that MSTR because it could pull back. I'll watch it and see what it wants to do tomorrow. CLSK. This one is pulling back, and again, it looks like they're just pulling back a little bit, so it looks like a little more pullback, and just like crypto, and then they'll get popping back up there, and crypto will be running, so when the market's closed on all these holidays, crypto will still be moving, so if it really gets popping, these things will just kind of jump back up. Coin was down like $10 and sitting on that 50, so we'll see what this one wants to do, if it wants to drop down anymore or get set up. DJT was up a little bit. It was down in the morning. I'm telling you, this thing's trying to get set up. I'm not exactly sure why it's not set up a little bit better, but maybe you're just going to see it get popping. So keep an eye on this DJT. And what's it say? Trump transfers 4 billion stake in Trump Media to trust amid stock volatility. So I'm not even sure. To a revocable trust, so I'm not sure what's going on by that, but he moved 4 billion into the trust run by his son. So I'll have to look into that and see what's happening with that thing. But it does look like it's kind of set up here. It is pulling back on the MACD, but the RSI and everything looks like it's trying to curl up. It could make one of them nasty, crazy curl ups and get cruising. So look at DJT because it's been set up, I'm telling you. And fun looks like it wants to get fun. And we've been saying it was up today, and the thing is curling up and getting fun. So PHUN. And usually when fun gets fun, DJT does too. So watch for it to go. Rumble was running. So I wouldn't be surprised if DJT just starts popping up. MTN, that's at Val Resorts, and this thing's getting set up again. So keep an eye on this because it will get moving. It was up $6 back to that 190, and it's getting set up to run. So we keep an eye on that. MTN, that's a good one. McDonald's was getting set up, and it's still just not ready. It may take another week. I don't know what the heck McDonald's is up to, but clearly it's not the company it used to be. And Boeing just keeps going up slowly into the top, but I wouldn't mess with that. And Space, that one is just kind of flat. It looked like Friday was its bottom, and we'll have to see if Space is trying to get set up to get moving here. And it looks like it wants to, it just hasn't done it yet. And good old Rivian, this bad boy is pulling back right there. And again, we rode that all the way to 15. So it is pulling back. PLTR just keeps going up. It's up into the 80s and trying to get into the top again. So aren't you glad you weren't shorting that? And good old Sophie's trying to run back up. So two of them that you're glad you're not shorting. Dell's looking great. We were talking about the other day. I was telling you that. And it did pull back with the market, but Dell was looking really good right here. So keep an eye on it. Gets through that 122. It's really running. It's at 118 right now. So just keep an eye on Dell because it looks really good. And what about Nike here? Nike was down 18 cents. And that one's just kind of running flat right there. They just had their earnings, maybe even pulling back. Let me see. NKE. Yeah, I mean, it can get set up right there, but it's just kind of running flat. And DXYZ, this thing's up 788, and it's just a beast right there. It just likes to run, run, run. So there you go with that. Let me look at some of the ETFs real quick. The yin and the yang. The yin is setting up, guys. The yin's about to run. So whatever's going on over there, the yin's going to run, and the yang looks like it is pulling back. It was down. So that's your yin and your yang. And let's look at BOIL. Boil was up, and it is just kind of flat, but it's going to continue to go up. And cold was kind of down 14 more cents. So we'll keep an eye on them, but we were kind of on the money with them, saying Boyle was getting warm and cold was cooling down. It's exactly what they did. How about that NUGT? The gold miners, and this thing's just kind of down here at the bottom. I'm guaranteeing this thing's going to set up because, like I said, the metal ones are looking really crazy right there. And dust is down a little bit, but I mean, these things look wild. I have to keep my eye on these. They both look kind of crazy. So that's that NUGT and dust. And let's look at our gush and our drip. 34 cents. The gush is up. That's our bull oil and gas. It is looking much better now. And the drip is probably pulling back, and it is. And it looks like it topped out and coming down. So there you go with them bad boys. Let me take a look and see what you guys want to see real quick. And we'll wrap her up. And defend is getting set up. And that's the aerospace and defense bull 3 times. And that is getting set up right there to try to get moving. So there you go with them bad boys. Let me see what you guys have to look at real quick. Here we go. Bruce Love has a few. I'll go through them real quick. We did a few of them, but I'll now knock them out. The line was looking good. I know that. It's setting up looking great right there. LGHL, FFIE, just kind of pulling back. It was trying to set up. Didn't look too bad. Let me see it on mine real quick. Yeah, it ran up today. Remember we were talking about it last night. It was looking pretty good. Or yeah, last night and last week actually. It ran 128 to 159 back down to like 111 right now. So we'll see if it can get moving again, but it did run up today real quick. ADD. Let's see that ADD. That's still in the basement with ADD down there, just kind of running flat, not doing anything. But I could see it trying to get curled up, but it's just been down there for a while. So we'll keep an eye on ADD and PBM. Let's look at PBM. This one ran up the other day. I remember just a little healthy pullback. It looks like on PBM. Even ran up Friday, Thursday, Friday, and today it went 275 to 315, back to 233. So yeah, it doesn't look terrible, but we'll have to keep an eye on. Looks like it's more healthy pullback than anything. But with these crazy days coming up, you just don't know what any of them are really going to do. HUMA, this was running Huma, ran up the other day, just kind of pulling back more flat than anything right there. Let me look. HUMA, yeah, ran up big Friday from 421 to 677, and today 503 down to 458 now. And it went down to 416, but down it's at 458. And that one's a hard one to tell what it's going to do. I'd have to look at that in the morning. TNXP was bouncing back. I know that was down and came out of the top. We'll have to see if it wants to make a base down here in like the 30s or 20s. But I have a feeling that's going to get pulled back. TNXP. We'll see if it wants to bounce up, but I'm not so sure it does yet. And that PTPI. Let's see what that's doing. PTPI. Petros Pharmaceuticals. This one's trying to get set up. It just came crossing through, coming down. So PTPI is crossing down, and the 20 and 50 are trying to meet up though and trying to curl up. I'd keep an eye on that. It could get set up. It has that crazy look. I remember looking at it. So keep an eye on that, Bruce Love. And there you go with them bad boys. And that UNH, let's see, may have bottomed out. Luis Rodriguez thinks, and I agree right there. I think that UNH did bottom out there, that United Health, and that one could be bouncing back up. And that bottom was probably 475 on the 17th, and it's at 506 right now and looking decent. So there you go with that one. And 526, Luis Rodriguez is saying. I could see it getting up there. It's at 506. It could get moving for sure, UNH. So keep an eye on that bad boy. Let's see what else. GMO for Paul. Let's see what GMO. Which one's that? Because I just see. Oh wait, is that an S? SGMO, huh? Missed the S on that. SGMO. I was gonna say I don't know GMO, but SGMO. Let's see that one. SGMO is opened at 246, at 259 was its high, and it came down to 230, and it's at 238. It is trying to bounce back up there, but we'll have to see if it bounces off that MACD tomorrow. And the only problem is that's weird is it's an early close and close Wednesday and then Thursday, Friday, and then close the weekend and more mixed up days. So yeah, some of these could lose momentum. I'm not saying they have to, but we have to keep an eye on that one. SGMO. Remind me in the morning. I'll look at it for you, Paul, and tell you if it's trying to do something right there. I'll even jot it down right here. And if you're on in the morning, just give me a quick reminder and I'll definitely take a look at it for you and let you know. Because, like I said, it could bounce off that MACD with no problem. The 20's coming up for it. Doesn't look bad and looks pretty bullish up there. So I would take a look at that and let me see what else we're looking at here. LAES, we can look at that one. That one ran up. We were super early on that Seals Q. It ran way up there, and it's probably going to try to run up a little bit more tomorrow. But I would definitely be trying to secure some profits because we were super early on it. I mean, we looked at it when it was in like the 50s, and it's all the way up at like five something. So LAES, that one's like way up there, and that's a semiconductor one right there. So let's look at SGD. Is that what you want to see? Safe and green development. This one looks like it's curling up real good. SGD. Yeah, I'd keep an eye on this. Going to get into that channel right there, get up to that 273 area. Could bounce around that channel to get set up, but it's looking good right there. SGD, Alicia, that does look pretty good, I say. Let's see what else. LAES we just looked at. GITS. Let's see, that Global Interactive Technologies. That one's an interesting one. I'm not gonna lie. It did run up the other day, pulled back and went flat. Let me see what it did on mine. I don't even remember what I said the other time, but it did on mine looks much better. I can say that. From Friday, it dipped down 33 down to 23, closed at 24. Today went 26 to 31. It came down to 20. Well, that was probably when it opened or down there. And it closed at 31. So it closed up at its high and actually looks like it has pretty good momentum right now. So GITS on mine in the after hours is looking pretty good, I must say. I have no idea what I said before, but that's exactly what it looks like right now to me. So there you go. I hope that helps out. GITS. And let's look at IB. Let's look at IB. What's that one? I'm not even sure. Hold on. I'm not even sure. I was going to say, I don't see anything for IB. I see an IBAC, an IBEX, IBIO. I know that one. IBTA, IBWC, and IBACR. And then there's some ETFs. And so I'm not exactly sure which one that would be, Norbert, is IB. Like I said, don't see anything right there. Let me look on here if anything pops up. Yeah, I just get all the different letters. IBB, which is biotech ETF. That looks like it's going to be popping up, so you can keep an eye on that one, IBB. But let me know what that one is. And here we go. AMD, that one is cruising. We did our big caps. Anybody else? No problem, Paul. And Bruce, I hope you got all your Christmas shopping wrapped up there. And we went through them bad boys for you. And like I said, there you go with them. We did our crypto and everything else. I don't think there's really anything on the scanner that's really popping that we haven't looked at. Like I said, that RIME is looking good for tomorrow. It is a half a day, closes at 1, so just be careful. Everything else we've basically went over, and the computer hardware ones and quantum ones are trying to curl back up. And let me just tell you real quick, like I said, the industrial metals and mining ones are looking crazy, guys. So I'll make a list of them because there's like 3 pages. I could go at random, but there's just so many good ones. But yeah, that LAAC and LAC, they're looking great. What else was setting up? I know when I was going through them earlier, this GTI was looking pretty good. There's yeah, I'll go make a list of these bad boys. I'll run through them all because there's only 3 pages, but I'll look at every single one and just see which ones are looking really good. The other sector that was setting up that we were going through on that show was also like the batteries, and they looked really good too. And I forget, I have to pull up some of them, so I'll have to get a little research. But ABAT was one of them, and it was jumped up today. And there's a couple of them that were kind of jumped up, and they're considered other industrial mining too. So I'll go through them and pick out the good ones for us and figure out what we're going to want to look at because, again, I don't think anything's going to be that crazy tomorrow. I could be completely wrong, but again, I think more or less we just want to see it kind of green going into Christmas Eve and Christmas. Hopefully, our big caps Mag 7 stay up. They look like they want to, and the SPY wants to roll, and that'll be good. And we'll see a couple poppers here and there. So there you go, everybody. I'd say that's a pretty good market review. Let me check the messages. I'll check over on StockTwits and see what we're looking at over there. And there we go. Let me just see real quick on StockTwits real fast what's going on. Let you guys know. AVXL, not even sure what that is. Now I have to look at it because I'm not even sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure, but that thing's run up. Might have momentum in the morning. It has one of them gray earnings and it popped up there. Zen is a crypto coin. TSM, we went through that. That's at Taiwan Semiconductor. Wolf, the WULF is down, and DraftKings is down right there. Let's look at DKNG. Yeah, that one is pulling back right there. So DraftKings is down. That AISP we went through, we were super early. NVDX, what's that one? That's the Nvidia daily long, and that one's curling up, and that's on there, and that's way up. Let's see. Actually, it's down a little. I mean, it was way up today, and I'm telling you, that thing will turn. That'll be green tomorrow. I can't imagine that one not. That TRAW ran up today. We were looking at it this morning, and that one ran big time. And IEP, what is that one? Icon Enterprises. And this one's way down there, and this is an oil and gas one, like way down there. So we might have to keep an eye on that one. And that is, what did I say? I something IEP. Yeah, IEP. There we go. Yeah, that one I'll keep an eye on that bad boy because that's down there. And Rumble we looked at, so I would say we nailed all them bad boys. And I'd say we got everything there. So there we go, everybody. And again, I'll be doing our pre-market at 7 a.m. with our Joey's jumpers, possibly some laptop lowdowns. I think their laptop travels hanging out with his family, starting his Christmas vacation. I don't blame him and anybody else. But yeah, I'll hop on real quick. We'll roll through, see what's going on, get ready for our holiday and Christmas and all that. And then again for the end of the week. So thank you, everybody. UMAC, Jennifer Lee sneaking them in there right there at the end. Let's look at it. UMAC, that unusual machines. And that's an unusual pop up there today, and it should keep ripping. I know you have an eye for them, so I would definitely look at that tomorrow for a momentum play because it looks like it has it right there. And I'd say you're going to see it. So I'd say you're good for that, Jennifer Lee, for some momentum because that looks good, UMAC. And I know we looked at that before as well. So there you go. And like I said, if you want me to look at anything in the morning, just let me know. I'll be on at 7 a.m. We'll roll through pre-market. Hopefully, crypto's looking a little better. It doesn't look bad at the moment. Hopefully, it shifts and looks even better tomorrow morning. And there you go. So, yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. Have a good night. Get ready for Christmas. And I will catch you guys in the morning. So, catch you guys at 7 a.m. for pre-market. Get some rest, and I will see you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.